What we into this week?
Smile again.
Show me that smile.
I love that goddamn song.
So Rob,
Yeah, what's up?
what was I into this week?
I don't know, Lawrence. What were you into this week?
Well, only a few things.
Okay, well,
one really quick one.
Mm-hmm.
I watched this morning this show called Netflix, I think new today, called Hyperdrive.
Holy shit, dude! Okay.
Did you watch it this morning?
I watched it last night when I got home.
So it must either come out like last night or this morning.
I think it came out yesterday. I think
Yeah.
yesterday during the day because I got home and I turned it on and Netflix was throwing it in my face.
You're like, watch
and then
Hyperdrive!
I texted my brother in Louisiana. I was like, "Hey, are you awake?" Cut to this morning. I had passed out watching it, and he, I got several text messages like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And then he just ended up calling me. I was like, he was the one who he woke me up this morning. He woke me up and he was like, "Yo, are you all right, my dude? I got your text." I was like, "Oh no, oh yeah, dude, sorry, yeah, man, I just got home and I was watching this show Hyperdrive and immediately thought of you."
Yeah.
This is the most spectacular car competition on Earth.
It's like the Fast and the Furious, but in real life.
This industrial complex has been transformed into 10 of the most insane race courses ever imagined.
Oh, the Leveler! A 6-story monstrosity that will show us exactly what these drivers are made of.
So the first thing that pulls up on the internet for this is Netflix's Hyperdrive is American Ninja Warrior for cars. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I thought when I saw it. And I was like, I got that premise in like the first 15 seconds. And I was like, I'm in. That's all I need.
I honestly, I was going to roll by it. I kind of like saw it and I skipped it a few times as I was like scrolling for something to get into. And I was like, oh, that seems so trite and contrived. I don't. And then I was like, I started this new thing this week. I call it, what do I call it? I call it "What We Into Roulette."
Roulette,
because I'm reaching a saturation point with the stuff that I can view on Netflix. I've just seen so much of it.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing that thing where I'll like hit the button and let it like roll through, and then whatever it stops on, I'll play.
What button? What are you talking about?
Like for me,
I think it's a great idea, and then I think Netflix should put a roulette button on the controller, random pick.
I use my my video game controller.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And so you know how like when you hit the
yeah.
So I slapped that a few times, let it scroll, and then whatever it stops on, I'll play. And I've done that a few times this week, and I ended up getting into a few things this week based on this new way of watching Netflix.
So I have a theory about this,
okay.
and I think about it every time I go out of town or I'm in some like hotel or at a place where there's like a TV that normal TV's on that you can't like pick what you're gonna watch.
You mean like a bar or something?
Yeah, or whatever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or you can change the channel, but that's about it. I think that when you have less options, sometimes it's better.
Wait, what? You explain.
They call it choice paralysis. Right, It's like when like when somebody tells you to go to the supermarket and get some mustard, and you get there.
I know what you mean. And it's like going to like a diner and they have everything on the menu. They serve tacos, they serve oysters, they serve seafood. It's like pages upon pages of food.
One, how do they do that? Because there's not enough people in this diner to support lobster. This is not busy enough.
They do that shit in New York all the time.
Two, if you just give people, and they've proven this, if you just give people less options, they're actually happier. And I
think that's true.
And they're categorically, basically happy with the choice that they end up with.
I think that's true.
Most people are happy with what they get. You know what I mean? So if you go to the supermarket to buy mustard for your wife, and they have one mustard, you're like, great, you got mustard, I bought it. You know, you come home, and you're like, this is it. Thank God they had mustard. Or maybe you go to a deli or something like that. Whatever. But when you go to the supermarket and they've got 32 different kinds of mustard,
it's a bit daunting. Honestly, here's the thing. I don't shop in New York. I don't do any grocery shopping in New York. The only time I grocery shop is when I'm on the road. Because I don't like grocery shopping in general.
Yeah.
But here in New York, it's especially, it's hyper annoying to me.
Yeah. Because
there's, like you said, like you go down these aisles and they're like...
It's worse outside of New York, man.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know, man.
I like Publix where my parents live?
I like Publix, Publix is one of the first places I went where I didn't feel like I was rushed or claustrophobic.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
And the options, they're not so infinitesimal. They're not like so many of them.
I don't know, man.
I feel like they kind of pare it down to like the major ones. And
I don't know
they
what
might have
Publix
their
you're
little
going into.
niche. They might have their little niche things, but like, I'm like, bread, milk, eggs, cheese. Perfect.
Okay, well, here, I'll give you an example. When we were in Florida and we were having shrimp the night before you showed up,
Right.
we needed cocktail sauce. Normally, yes, Dad, you make cocktail sauce. It's actually better, but we wanted to just buy some because it was easy, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was looking for cocktail sauce that needed to be two things. One, the one that had the least amount of sugar, because I don't want a cocktail sauce that has a ton of sugar,
Okay.
right? And then
as someone who doesn't eat shellfish,
Right.
I rarely have had an opportunity to imbibe cocktail sauce. So
Right.
I don't really know what goes in. What is cocktail sauce?
deliciousness. That's basically
ketchup?
It's basically ketchup and horseradish.
Oh, okay.
And some
That sounds
other
cool.
shit thrown in there.
That
That's
sounds
it.
cool.
Yeah, horseradish is
What
great.
other shit?
Nothing that I don't know. Nothing that really matters.
So ketchup and horseradish.
Yes,
that sounds cool.
That's the poor man's cocktail sauce.
okay.
Yeah.
Poor man's cocktail sauce. All right, fuck with that.
But they add a ton of sugar to all these cocktail sauces. They had probably 25 cocktail sauces.
That's too many cocktail
25
sauces.
cocktail sauces.
That's entirely.
And so I found the one with the least amount of sugar that did not have high fructose corn syrup, and that's the one we bought. Anyways,
I actually kind of low key remember this conversation now. Did you have this conversation when you came back to the house with Pop?
Probably, yeah. Cocktail sauce. That's
like,
what we into this week.
I remember, it was like one of these like pain flashbacks. Like, ow, yeah, I've seen this before.
So, my thought is, when you're in a hotel and all you can do is watch the 14 channels on the TV, sometimes it's better because you end up halfway through Smoking the Bandit or quarter of the way through.
I do like Smokey.
Like Steel Magnolias, which you would never watch.
But if it's on, yeah, it's one
You know
of
what
those
I'm saying?
films-
And it
is
goes to
definitely
your
one of those films.
Netflix roulette button, patented by What We Into, that they need to put on the
You heard it here
TV.
first.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it starts you out of it doesn't say, here's an episode, do you want to watch this? It starts playing a random thing on Netflix.
And it locks you when you have to watch. And then see, they're also with this roulette game that I play. I have to watch either the entire episode. I mean, unless it's just a complete travesty, and I'm like, no. But you have to watch the entire episode, at least the first one, before making your choice. You can't be 2 minutes in and be like,
Yeah, exactly.
So it brought me to a lot of really good things this week.
Such
but
as?
Hyperdrive. Oh, okay. One of mine was.
Because Hyperdrive's great, but I only watched one episode so far, and I cried at the end. I cried.
I know the one. I know. Me too. But I got mad afterwards. I was mad afterwards because I was like, that is some manipulative ass shit.
Oh, actually, I watched the beginning of the second part to see her lose,
Right.
And I cried.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron shows up.
Yeah, because I think Charlize is an executive producer
Yeah.
on this show Hyperdrive.
Yeah, she's so badass.
I love her.
You've seen Atomic Blonde, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am literally in love with her.
Yeah, me
she
too.
is African.
Yeah.
African is Africa.
Tall.
African. Gorgeous.
Powerful.
Talented. Like, I mean, the list can go on. I could describe Charlize all day. I
And
love
she
her.
produces car shows.
And she produces car shows. And she got in a car with a minor and let that bitch donut her around.
Yeah, it's no
I was like, you were
seatbelt.
So, yeah,
They had no seatbelt
I said
to
that
do
too. I was
those.
like, no seatbelt, Charlize? You are a gangster. I love her.
Yeah.
I fucking love her. And that brings me to...
That's Hyperdrive on Netflix if you want to watch it.
You should definitely check it out. But did you see the trailer for Bombshell?
No.
Well, that's what I was just watching before we started recording. Charlotte, remember I was asking you, I was like, Margot Robbie got nominated for an Oscar? And you were like, for what? I was like, that's what I'm asking you. So it's Nicole Kidman, Charlize Theron,
yes.
and Margot Robbie.
Charlize Theron is Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. I haven't.
She looks like Megyn Kelly, bro.
Well, she's an Oscar winner.
Yeah. Wait, Megyn Kelly?
No. Yeah, Megyn Kelly.
Well, no, I know that. I know that. She's an Oscar winner for Monster.
Yeah.
Which is fucking she's one of the best transformational actresses I've ever seen.
So this is the guy, Jay Roach. He's the director. He directed the Austin Power films
Wait,
and
what?
Meet the Parents.
This guy who's directing Bombshell?
Yeah. And also Dinner for
But
Schmucks.
It's not a comedy.
I don't know. He also HBO political dramas like Recount, Game Change in 2012, all the way to 2016, political comedy, The Campaign. So he knows his stuff.
So he's
he's
a comedy writer.
Yeah,
but this movie Bombshell that we're talking about. It's called Bombshell.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it looks like a scandal like.
It'd be like if
Kelly
the writers
fired.
from Veep wanted to write wanted to write a serious political movie. They could do it because they have to educate themselves on the politics of it all in order to know what's the funny joke. But then they just shift gears and make it more serious.
So, do you think this movie is going to be a comedy?
I don't know. It says drama.
It looks like a drama. And my other question is it?
He didn't write it though. He's just directing.
Okay.
Charles Randolph wrote it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he has connections to the Farley brothers.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh. The Life of David Gale is what he wrote. The Interpreter in 2005, which I believe is Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, The Interpreter?
Yeah, is that?
No, I think that was the not Interpreter, but I know the one that you're thinking of.
Oh, that's Nicole Kidman, Sean Penn. Right.
Yes, which is actually pretty good.
Love and Other Drugs. Jake Gyllenhaal, Anne Hathaway. The Big Short in 2015.
Negotiator is what you're thinking of.
Yeah, Negotiator. There you go. Yeah, that looks good. Why'd you bring it up?
I brought it up because Charlize was in the show last night, and
right.
And I had heard that she was playing Megyn Kelly, and I hadn't seen it, so I was like, she's playing Megyn Kelly in what capacity?
Yeah,
and so that's why I brought it up, and because I was into it like right before we got into the show, right before we started recording.
Right, so that comes out December 20th, 2019.
I was into comedy this week.
Nice.
Nice. Tiffany Haddish has
I love Tiffany Haddish.
I love her too.
See, you have a crush on like Charlize Theron. I have like a weird crush on Tiffany Haddish. Yeah,
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, then you'll like her new show, They Ready.
Oh.
On Netflix.
Are we ready? As a stand-up comedian and a female, it is very difficult to get a little shine. These are my comics. You're gonna love them because
It's Tiffany Haddish basically handpicks a group of comedians and puts on specials for them. So you get like a 20-minute. You get 5 like 20-minute sets from these amazing women comedians that all have a personal tie to Tiffany.
That sounds great.
It is great.
I like her title too. They Ready. It's kind of like what we
that's
into.
That's her catchphrase. Like, they ready.
Yeah.
You know. So
she tried to get on our show, and I was like, nah, I don't know, man. Maybe I got too much of a crush.
The crush that you had tried to get on the show, and you didn't want her here.
It makes it awkward.
Only if you're.
I want to be free when I speak and not feel like I'm being judged by Tiffany Haddish. It's hard to do this show with an erection.
No, it's not.
Speaking from experience.
I'm holding one right now. How do you think this beer is balancing?
Yeah, Tracy Ashley, Flame Monroe, Ida Rodriguez.
Flame Monroe was an intriguing one.
Marlo Williams, April Macy, and Shantae Waynes.
And they're all diverse and very funny. It's a very good time. I highly recommend it.
You think Shantae Waynes is...
She's one of the Waynes.
She is?
Yes. She's one
I'm
of
all
the
about bring me back to Waynes, bring me back in living color.
Her set is kind of great though, because she talks about being from the other side of the track kind of Waynes. Because there's the rich family Waynes, and then there's the other family Waynes, and she was the other family Wayne.
She's like, I'm here to get my money.
It's good. You should definitely check it out.
Oh, there was a Wayne's Brothers movie that was on Netflix I wanted to watch.
It's not a movie. It's a series. It's called The Sextuplets. It's the one with Marlon.
Marlon Wayans.
And
it looks funny.
It looks like garbage.
My whole life, I always wondered what my birth family was like.
Open it.
My mama had 6 babies at the same time.
We're sextuplets.
Maybe one of them changed their name to Idris Elba. You know, we do have strikingly similar bone structures.
Did you even watch it?
I didn't even try to watch it.
I'm writing it down because I'm watching it.
It's called Sextuplets.
I just remembered.
He's playing 6 different characters in it. Sometimes in the same. It's basically the Nutty Professor.
Yeah, with Marlon Wayans. I'm into it. I'm so good at it. Right. I saw it and I was like, I want to watch it.
Let me know how that goes. Because Roulette brought that up a few times, and I just kept vetoing. I was like, no, Roulette, I won't. No, I veto that.
That's against the rules of the Netflix roulette.
I know it is. But I made the rules of Netflix roulette, so I'm going to do it this way.
See, part of the button that Netflix should get is that you can't watch anything else until you watch that thing that it picks.
You get 2 vetoes, I feel like.
Two vetoes a day. And then after that, it's like, sorry, you got to watch what we pick.
I vetoed it twice. So boop, boop, no X, no X. What else you got?
So I had sat down and watched the first episode of Deep Space Nine, which I realized I'd never seen.
You motherfucker.
I know.
And?
It was great.
I'm fucking right it is. I'm telling you, Deep Space Nine is the best series.
The balls on Deep Space Nine.
The balls on Deep Space Nine, bro.
Coming this January 1993. Brace yourself for the next thrilling chapter in the Star Trek legacy.
You will disarm your weapons. If you attempt to intervene, we will destroy you.
They introduced 2 new races in Deep Space Nine.
What is Sixto's actor's name? Because by the end of all of Deep Space Nine, I'll know every actor in their name. But what's his name?
Six Toes.
What's the captain?
Oh, Benjamin Sisko?
Sisko, yeah, sorry.
I was like, who's Six Toes?
Like I say, I've seen now every episode of Next Generation. Mm-hmm. I've only probably seen a handful on both hands of Deep Space Nine. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's the best series.
Yeah,
it's the best series in my opinion. Not only because there was a captain that was represented that looked like me, but it was the first time in the history of the Star Wars franchise that all the action didn't take place on a ship.
Yes,
it was a stationary object that they lived, a space station that they lived on, and the drama was between the space and the ship.
The mission to maintain order against the constant threat of hostile alien powers.
I'm told the Cardassians decided to have some fun the day they left. We're virtually defenseless.
Well, Avery Brooks is really good. He's really good.
Yeah, I know. But I grew up watching Avery Brooks on something Hawk. My mom used to love this show, so I would watch it with her as a kid. I think it was
Hawk.
Was it Hawk?
Spencer for
Hire.
Yeah.
Led by Commander Benjamin Sisko, a specially selected crew of Starfleet officers joins forces with a dynamic mix of highly skilled aliens, greedy fortune hunters, and diverse cultures to protect this strategic outpost.
I grew up watching him on Spencer for Hire, and then because I actually kind of emulated I wanted to emulate him as an actor. That's who. When I was growing up, that's who I looked up to as an actor.
Maybe that's why I like it so much.
He reminds you of me.
It's like every time I watch Wesley Snipes, and now this guy.
Those are the guys I've emulated. Like I've always emulated as an actor. I was like, I want to be like them. I want to be like Snipes. I want to be like Avery Brooks. He had this voice. Do you remember that he did this movie he did this movie with Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips called The Big Hit, maybe?
Big Hit.
The Big Hit. And
hold on, I'll find it for you. Keep talking.
And he didn't. I don't think he's done.
The Big Hit. He played Paris, 1998.
Fucking A.
Oh yeah, now I see the poster. I remember that movie. Yeah.
And I don't think he did very many movies, but I remember seeing him and being like, "Yeah, this isn't really well written, and maybe the role isn't great, but you were great in it."
In 1987, he did Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Wait,
he played
what?
Uncle Tom.
He was in Uncle Tom's Cabin?
He was Uncle Tom in Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Holy shit. I gotta go find that.
In 1988, he played Cletus Moyer in The Roots, The Gift.
Wait. Like The Roots movie? It
was a television movie. Same with Uncle Tom.
LeVar Burton one.
He was in American History X.
That's right.
Dr. Bob Sweeney.
Yes, that's right.
He was in 15 Minutes.
Is that the one with... No, I don't remember that.
Detective Leon Jackson. Anyways,
yeah,
it's great. He's
amazing. Watch that art. He gets...
Well, because I think that's what happened to me. Is I saw some later episodes, and he's much more buttoned down in later episodes. When his ship, what's the name of his ship that gets blown up by the Borg at the beginning of the episode?
Oh shit! I mean, I haven't seen that episode.
Anyways,
forever.
It gets blown up by the Borg, while Captain Picard is Locutus, basically a Borg.
Right. So that's how the intersectionality. That's how they. Yes, I remember now. Right.
So they're basic. So then he gets assigned to Deep Space Nine, and he goes to meet with Captain Picard, and
Deep Space-
Captain Picard basically killed his wife.
Yeah.
And there's this. I mean, that's why I say the balls on this show is that Next Generation is ending, and this guy who's now taking over the next captain essentially goes to Picard and is like, "Fuck you,"
basically,
in no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. And they actually kind of allow Picard to be faulty.
Yeah. Well, he was at fault. And it's so
great.
good.
In that sense, it's
so
great.
Good. And here, the crazy thing is that both Deep Space Nine and Voyager, I feel like premiered at the same time, because one preceded the other in viewing. Like, I remember you'd watch Deep Space Nine, or I think Voyager came first, and then Deep Space Nine would be the next hour. Yeah. So you would sit down each week and you would watch these shows in a block.
Oh, so they were coming out together
at the same time.
So maybe what I should do is watch one episode of Deep Space Nine and one episode of Voyager.
You can. But they don't ever line up. They're
okay,
but they're two separate stories happening at the same general time, like in time, but.
So you don't have to.
They're disparate because Voyager is basically they
get lost.
They're lost, like lost in space, kind of like we've gone down a wormhole, which is funny because Deep Space Nine is all about a wormhole.
Wormhole, yeah.
And Voyager spends their whole time just trying to find that, like not that particular wormhole, but any kind of spatial anomaly to get back to the Alpha Quadrant, where the Federation's from, where they're in, like, I don't know, the Gamma Quadrant,
whatever.
or some place. But it's going to take them, like, I don't know, 70,000 years at maximum warp, which is at this time warp 9, to get home.
That's so cool.
It's so good.
And that's essentially what Discovery is going to be doing now, because they're, instead of being...
Wait, Discovery's coming back?
Yeah. But, well, I'm assuming they're coming back. But Discovery right now is... This is why people are actually excited about Discovery, because at the end of Discovery Season 2, they get warped into the future. So far into the future that it's unrecognizable.
Right.
It'll just be unrecognizable any form of the Federation. Right. They can do anything in the same way that Voyager went out so far away that all pretense of the Federation was gone.
And some of those Voyager stories are really dope.
Yeah, so
really dope.
I'm really excited to start Deep Space Nine.
Great.
You
won't be disappointed.
The only blemish, and I'll speak on it. I'll get over it. The only blemish is it's in 480p.
Oh no shit! And so they didn't HD these?
They can't. They filmed it all on video.
Oh shit!
So that's the highest quality that they.
It's always going to look that little ratty look. Yeah.
So whereas Next Generation they filmed on film. Right. So they can go through and they can clean it up and they can HD it. Right. This they can't do that too. But there is a little bit of hope on the horizon. A couple, I think they're in like Sweden or something. A couple of hackers created an AI that would go into the video and bump it up to HD. It's incredibly time consuming, but there is hope in the future that maybe we'll get an Star Trek Deep Space Nine HD.
It would be great.
But right now, it looks like somebody just took Vaseline and smeared it all over the TV. Yeah.
Imagine a universe of new adventures where none have gone before. Imagine Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Every week I'll give you one Deep Space Nine.
You're going to have
episode.
a good time with Deep Space Nine, I promise you.
Yeah.
They introduce so many good characters. You'll Quark, I don't know if you've shown him
awesome.
yet.
That
Armin
actor's
Shimmerman
amazing.
is a beast.
Yeah.
He's basically he's the Data. He's that level of nuance and acting chops that you want in a role like that. He's incredible.
He's the Ferengi, correct?
Yeah, he's a Ferengi.
What was? Oh yeah, I think whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
But I think he also got his pedigree on Next Generation. I feel like Armin, he was like one of these like little guest spot type joints.
Okay.
You know, because like so many of these cats that ended up in the cast of both Deep Space Nine and Voyager had been on Star Trek in smaller, throwaway red shirt kind of roles before. Like the character who plays Tuvok, he's basically Worf in Voyager.
And Worf comes to this, doesn't?
Worf ends up in Deep Space Nine. That's the other intersectionality of Deep Space Nine and Next Generation.
Well, apparently, this guy Armin has done a bunch of video games too.
Yeah, he has, bro.
Yeah.
The dude is amazing talent.
He was Mass Effect. BioShock.
No shit.
Mass Effect 2. BioShock 2.
Yeah. I remember.
Mass Effect 3. Yeah, so okay. He's deep. We'll talk about him more.
There was 2 cartoons that I was into this week.
Okay.
specifically 3 cartoons, but the 2 that I was most into were throwbacks. They're Invader Zim.
Oh yeah.
And Rocko's Modern Life. They made them into movies. They gave them like an hour-long treatment.
That was coming on Afterglow. They were like, watch Invader Zim. I was like, I don't have time.
It is amazing.
I've never
it's
watched
called Invader Zim eating Enter the Florpus. I've seen every episode of both these shows.
Yeah.
I love this treatment of them. They kind of pick up where the shows kind of meandered off the path. So in both Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim, time has passed dramatically, and they address it. The characters address it, and it's fun. It's quirky. It's nostalgia of 90s cartoonship. I wouldn't say golden era of cartoons, but definitely close to it. Sort of the tail end of when cartoons were really great.
Right. Which you recommend over the other if you had to pick one?
If I had to pick one, Invader Zim is my favorite.
Yeah.
He's always been. Rocko was a little bit behind. It felt like I was watching Rocko with my sisters.
A lot less, half as many episodes for Invader Zim.
Really?
Rocko has 52. Invader Zim's got 27.
They're really good.
Nice.
But yeah. And the last Russian roulette. The last Netflix roulette show that came up this week for me was a documentary called The Family, and I highly recommend.
I started watching the last episode.
The Wolf King.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
And then I realized this is really good, and I should just start from the beginning.
You don't. You start from the beginning because when you get to the Wolf King, you'll be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
In my 20s, I stumbled my way in, and what I found is a secretive Christian organization called The Family that had been hiding in plain sight for over 80 years.
This was a group with tentacles around the world.
A humble example of leadership that the world has never seen.
A breathtaking enmeshment of church and state.
There were congressmen, senators, world leaders.
And they say it's about faith, but there's a shared understanding that what we're really about here is power.
So that's on my list for sure.
I highly. If you're hearing my voice, stop what you're doing right now. Put it in your brain. Make a note for yourself. Go and watch that shit. It is crazy good.
Yeah.
I'm going to try not to spoil it, but basically, we think we live in a democratic nation.
No, we don't.
But we really don't.
Going back to David Koch and a line from Speed Racer, the Wachowski siblings movie, John Goodman comes out and says to one of the very rich character, he's like, I don't like guys like you. You have so much money, you think the rules don't apply to you.
And this is exactly who we're talking about.
And it's like the definition of the orange skull,
And he is their guy.
Yeah.
Like this, like The Family, this is the motherfucker that they were waiting for.
Oof.
Now, and I know, like, and not having any context for that, go and watch this documentary. It's 5 hours. I think each I think it's 5 in 5 parts, and each part is an hour. Go and watch it.
Does this documentary make you think that Trump is going to get a second term?
Yes, it does. Ugh. Very, very, very. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what happened in it from you remember Gaddafi, right? Because we grew up in that era. You remember that Pan Am flight that had gotten blown up?
Yes, sir.
And then the 2 bombers fled to Libya, and Gaddafi protected them, right?
Yep.
And the U.S. was real up their own ass about it, blah, 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 blah. And then cut to a couple days later, Gaddafi stopped shielding he basically gives up the 2 bombers.
Yes.
You remember this?
Yes. Yeah.
That's because one of these cats from The Family went and met with Gaddafi.
Mm.
And in that meeting, I don't know what was said or who exchanged what, but they came to terms in a way that allowed Gaddafi to become a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Become a friend to America. Here's some weapons. Here's they line it up for you. And it starts with these 19 businessmen in the 1930s. Like I think 1935, 19 businessmen got together and decided that they wanted America to be a Christian-run nation for Christians, but basically like FUBU, but for Christians.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
But here's how we're going to do it. We're going to
FUBU for Christians. Perfect. Sometimes, when I re-edit these podcasts, I hear that line or a line like that again. I'm like, why did I not comment on how brilliant that line was? I'm just like, yeah, sure, FUBU Christians got it. Perfect. I just want to take a moment just to repeat it. FUBU for Christians. What does FUBU stand for?
For us, by us.
For us, by us, for Christians.
And
streetwear.
So
tracksuits.
They're headbands
for Christians.
Windbreakers. so their plan was to basically put their people into positions of power, not just in America, but all over the world, so that at any given time, like basically, I can call in a favor.
Right.
Like I can pick up the phone and be like, hey, I need arms to arm these, but whatever
right.
you need. Placing specific men, usually white men, into positions of power so they could help later on down the line.
Yeah.
Cut to the Wolf King. Because it's a parable.
Well,
the Wolf King is a parable, and I'm not going to give it away any more than that. It's a parable that they use to indoctrinate a lot of these cats.
Gaddafi was worth $200 million when he was assassinated in 2011. Or $200 billion, excuse me.
I was like, that sounds low.
No, $200 billion.
Omar, is it Omar?
No, it's Muammar Mohammed Abu Minyar
He
Gaddafi.
was worth $200 billion
when he was assassinated.
How about that?
How do you strong arm a guy like that?
How do you get at a motherfucker that has $200 billion? You don't think his security was tight as a fucking frog's asshole? How do you get at him? You got to have bigger money.
Let's keep going. What else you got? I got the one last thing over here.
Okay, all right. What else I got? Final Space.
Finals.
Oh my God, Final Space. I've talked about it before on the podcast.
Oh, this is the one I can't watch.
You could watch it if you get Cody.
Yeah, I'd have to illegally download it because I have wherever it's showing on TBS.
Yes.
Only has like the beginning of the second season.
Or
whatever the new season is out right now.
Oh, right. Okay, I got you. Okay,
but it looks really good.
It's hella good.
Yeah.
This last episode killed me.
Yeah,
it killed me. And I think there's a lot of I think Conan O'Brien might be involved in it. I know Fred Armisen does some of the voice work on it.
It's got
Ron Bunches, who's a comedian.
Ron Perlman does a voice for it.
Ron Perlman does?
Conan O'Brien does a voice. Jane Lynch. Yeah.
The cast is pretty great.
Claudia Black.
And the writing is starting to really get good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's already kind of like pedigreed in a comedy writership, but they're telling stories now that are like heart-wrenching.
It looked really good.
It's really this is when I was telling Laurel, like, who likes hierarchy space shows, this is for her, but it has such a good bent to it.
This one's on the TBS app but you can't watch the first season, so it's hard to tell you how to watch it.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah.
Also, I ran through the last the most recent season of Easy. It's another one I've been talking about.
I thought about this today. Yeah.
It's fucking great. It's so good. It's about relationships. Each episode is about a different relationship and different aspects of it. It's so good. I highly recommend it.
That's on Netflix by creator and director Joe Swanberg.
It's incredible. Go see it. Last Nights, that ended up in that was the last. I had to turn the page. It was the that was actually the last What We Into Netflix.
Oh, Morgan Freeman and Clive Owen.
Yeah. I don't know why. I know why. I went back and I watched this after I watched The Family, because there was some sort of alignment about, like, there was like belief or faith in a system, or like when a group of men have this much faith in a system or in one person, what they can accomplish. There was some sort of alignment to it, and I started watching it.
Oh, I see. Like Netflix algorithm set you up for this movie.
Well, no, not even so much that. It was the way that the family sort of was playing out for me. I was like, like when you watch it, you'll see. Like there's a way that this way of believing, like, it's a reason why these guys have been invisible for 80 plus years behind the scenes doing things, and it's because it's a group of guys who've gotten together under the bannership of a figurehead, and Last Night's kind of deals with that in the
2015 movie. Starring Morgan Freeman, Clive Owen, a fallen warrior rises against a corrupt and sadistic ruler to avenge his dishonored master. Who is who?
Well, Morgan Freeman is the dishonored master.
Okay.
And Clive Owen is his knight.
Got it.
And it's I'm not sure it's that good of a movie.
Yeah, it's only got like a 6.7.
It's not that good of a movie, but it, for whatever reason, it just tracked with this idea that the family had kind of put in my purview.
And it also looks like it has a Japanese director.
Well, it definitely has a Japanese feel to it.
Kazuki Kiriya.
One of the there's a couple of characters in the movie who are Asian. I'm not sure if they're Japanese, but
so I wonder if this was financed in Japan.
It probably will. It definitely had that. It felt like that. It had that style or that sensibility in the camera work and in the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gomon is his other movie.
Oh, word?
If you know that movie.
I don't think so.
It's another, it's a Japanese kind of samurai thing.
I don't think this is actual historical. It felt like it had a historical bent, but it wasn't actual history based on like its aesthetic. Like they were knights, but they didn't look like typical, plate mail and that kind of thing.
Do you prefer knights or samurai?
I think I don't think I have a preference because I think they're both the same. I think the foundations of what knighthood is and the foundations of what samuraihood is are the same thing.
What about sword fighting? Which if you could watch a sword fight, would you rather watch knights fight in armor?
If I had to watch a sword fight, I'd rather watch lightsaber battle.
Or lightsaber battle. Yeah.
That's
your go-to for
If you're talking about sword fights that are like take your breath away kind of shit, because a lightsaber can cut almost anything. The only thing that stops a lightsaber is another lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like with swords, swords can stop a sword.
Yeah. You should really read Shogun, James Clavell's Shogun.
Okay. Do you have it?
I'll find a copy for you.
Okay.
It'll be. I'll find it for you. I see it all the time out in places
because
and it gets really into the samurai.
My moniker, my nom de guerre is Shonuff Shogun.
Yes,
I've been using that since forever.
From The Last Dragon,
right? Yeah. And that's where I took
Barry
it from.
Gordy's.
Barry Gordy's. Yeah.
Is it Barry Gordy Jr.?
No, I think it's Barry Gordy.
And Barry Gordy was the founder of Motown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So I basically took it from Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Did you
the Shogun of Harlem?
We're not quite there yet, but when we get into Mindhunter, did you hear the Barry Gordy reference?
I don't remember. I think I did, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
it
was just kind of a throwaway line towards the end. They're talking about the bad guy that they catch, and they're like, and he's trying to get these boys to come back.
Right. Who you think you are? Yes. Yes. I do.
Who do you think he is? Barry Gordy?
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, bro.
Yes, I do.
What else you got?
I put a star by this, and I don't. Oh, okay. Yes, I ship you.
Oh,
I ship you. It's a CW property, and I got to be honest, I was really into it until I found out it was a CW property.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel about CW properties.
I was really into it because the model for it is it's a musical. It's an episodic musical where these people, but it surrounds these people who I guess work in a shipping work for a shipping company or whatever.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
Ella and Tim are roommates, co-workers, and best friends, and they start a band that makes music inspired by fandom culture.
Right.
Along with intern Sasha in Denver, they unite their talents to compete in local battle. The band's competition will forever change them.
Really? Well, all right, stop reading because I only saw the one episode. I only watched the first one.
And here's the end.
Yeah. All right. I didn't know she started a band. Why? Like when I hit play, the first thing that comes up is she's writing fan fiction.
Okay, that's cool.
Which was I was like, oh, that's intriguing. And then like a third of the way through that scene, they just break out into song. They just started singing like. And then the CW logo popped up, and I was like, "Oh!"
How did you watch this one?
Cody.
Okay.
It was one of those random Cody ones.
So because this kind of links to the other thing. I don't know if you're going to bring it up or not, but in Enter the Anime.
Yes, I was going to bring it up because Cannon Busters.
Yes,
I triple starred this week. Did you watch it?
I watched the first episode so we could talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, Enter the Anime. I think I texted you about it.
Yeah, because basically the way it links up is some of these guys who were making these animes were basically doing their own kind of like fan fiction sort of things.
Right.
And then Netflix or whoever said, you know what, you should come do an anime for us.
Yeah.
Same like Castlevania guy.
That was just going, the guy who was doing Castlevania.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I watched that too. I was listening to that documentary, to be quite honest.
It's not a good one.
It's not a good documentary.
It's not a good documentary. I only brought it up because they highlight so many of the artists that I really enjoy their work. I've seen every single one of those cats. I've seen their work. I didn't know who they were, and I didn't know. Like, for me, I felt like this documentarist didn't know. Like, she says that.
She says
like,
it, yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
And she says at the beginning of the film.
At the beginning of the film. And she tries to make sort of like build her wings on the way down as she's doing the documentary. And I don't think she ever really got it.
No, I don't either. And I think it doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
No, it's not a bad documentary. If you're into anime and you like that, basically what we're into. Mm-hmm. It's worth a watch. It's worth a look.
That's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
The problem with me that I had with it was that, like, I don't want to see a documentary made by somebody about anime who doesn't understand anime. I want to see a documentary about anime who's been watching anime like you and I have since we were like little kids.
Like, I don't want to see you find your way into this world. This world has existed. I mean, she's probably like 20-something. This world has existed long before you were even around.
Yeah.
And for you to sort of like stumble in now with your pretty whiteness and
not to mention that like Netflix is like, hey, make us this movie, which basically forces her to be into it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I didn't think about that aspect. I didn't think about that.
She has to be into this.
Because
if she's
it's a
not,
paycheck for her.
She's not going to come on and say, I don't really like this stuff.
Right.
But here's a movie I made.
Right.
Which that actually would be more interesting.
It would be more interesting if she was like, on my journey, I found that this wasn't for me.
So every time she started talking, I was really just like, shh, just show me the anime guys, let them talk, interview, you know what I mean, and like show me the animes that they're making. Because that stuff was fascinating.
Yeah, and that's how I fell into Cannon Busters.
Yes,
and I ended up watching that. Because the guy who created Cannon Busters is a black guy.
Yes.
And it's evident in the anime all the way through. Like almost all the characters look like me. I don't think I can't name an anime before. I mean, maybe Afro Samurai, but that was supposed to be like that.
Can you sing the Cannon Busters opening song?
I can't, but I've been playing. I posted it. I posted that fucking
so
intro.
Catchy.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit right here in the podcast.
You should.
We got place to go, things to do, people to see, and we gotta get it done right away. You and the crew, yes, be a team, thinking and deep, and we all trying to help find a way. If you know the destination, we making conversation.
It's one of the few anime intro songs where I didn't ever skip it. I didn't want to skip it. I let it play every time because it was so good.
I went on Discogs and tried to find it on vinyl.
I went on online to see if there was a longer version of it. It's only that little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, I want this
so
to be
catchy.
like a 3-minute, 4-minute track.
Until gravity is gone. We've been on this road too long, so long. And I can't stop, we can't stop. I'm so far away from home. We've been on this road too long, too long. Playing with fire. Take me higher.
And there's aspects of jazz, and then there's rapping, and then there's like real good vocals that happen.
It's kind of the best part of the anime for me.
Really?
I mean, I liked it.
You only saw the first episode.
I only saw the first episode. It's definitely like Cowboy Bebop feels.
Yes. It's like Black Cowboy Bebop.
But like when he turns the car into the bull thing, for example, they do
CG for that. That's mostly CG.
But they did it at the beginning of the episode, and then later when they did it later in the episode, I was like, but you guys already showed me this. You already did this. I was like, I don't know.
Well, that's one of the characters that doesn't speak in the and for me, like it's kind of.
I would have eaten it up as a kid.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
I was younger.
It's very adolescent. It's very adolescent. But I was so enamored with the art style and the fact that all the characters looked like me.
Yes.
And it still felt
very
like
throwbacky,
and it still
too.
felt wholly Japanese in that way. I was into it.
Yeah.
I was completely into it. And then as you see the as you see that main character, the Sam, if you see her progression,
yes, what's it stand for? Synthetic
something model or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's basically a war machine.
Yeah,
who doesn't know that she's a war machine.
Yeah.
And as you see her kind of go through the world, she goes to find this cat, and he's an
Philly
immortal.
the kid.
Yeah. His character is awesome, and I want to know more about him. He basically makes a deal with a demon that allows him, because he wants to have like her family, the family of Sam, like her, because she's on a search for the prince of this nation that gets bum rushed, and that family murdered Philly the kid's family, and so he goes and makes a deal with the demon as a kid, so that he would never die, so he could get revenge.
Right, and Sam is the eponymous cannon buster.
Right, she's a war machine that doesn't know she's a war machine.
Yeah.
It's a fun. It's adolescent in places, but the art style and the action is recommendable.
Yeah.
I fucks with it. It's fuckswittable.
Yeah.
Should we jump into Mindhunter or Glow?
I got one last thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I got one last thing too.
I got, I off and on collect vinyl, and I go through phases.
Right.
This I think it was because I went down to Florida and my dad gave me a bunch of Elvis records.
Well, you guys went to an estate. You guys were doing estates. I wish I had gone with you guys at it, because I wanted to see what that was like.
Well,
because did you guys go? You guys go to estate sales specifically for the records?
Yes.
I never
and whatever else. If there's
that.
something my dad sees,
that
there's two versions of estate sales. There's the ones where like somebody from the family throws them, or you know what I mean, and
like from your family, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or somebody. There's the other estate sale where you hire out a company, and they go through and they know what everything is worth, and they itemize your shit. It's not like when you go that the mother or the daughter is like standing around the estate. Typically, that from what I've seen, that doesn't happen. But yeah, so you go to these people's houses and you walk in their house and you look at all their stuff that's still pretty much in the house, and all of it's for sale.
Huh.
So we went to one, and it was this big. I mean, it was literally what you think of as an estate in Florida. There was like a pond in front of the driveway with a little like island in the center. You know what I mean? So all that stuff is there for sale. It was all like overpriced, but we found like a few records. So that kind of like scratched my little mosquito itch of record collecting. So this week I went out and hit up a bunch of record stores
here in the city.
Yeah, I had a bunch.
Do you have like a specific one that you go like? Do you have a go-to place for this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I have a few, but the one I like a lot is A1 Records on 6th Street between Avenues, First and A, basically.
First and A.
And
and that's in Manhattan.
That's in Manhattan, yeah. The reason I like that one is because they get a ton of volume. They've been known for a long time, so people bring them a ton of stuff. They almost have too much stuff, so they'll put a lot of like really good records in the $1, $2 bins.
Wow.
Right? Most of them are scratched or in very, very terrible shape. But every now and then you can find like really, really great stuff.
So like walk me through your experience of like buying new vinyl. Like you're in, because I'd imagine that it's a time-consuming process.
We could have a whole episode on this.
All right,
so later we'll bring it up. But yes, it is very time-consuming. That's part of the fun of it, though.
Interesting.
If you're ever walking down your street in your neighborhood and you see somebody out there like selling vinyl, if it's $1, $1 a record or around that price, like, and you can find some like, even if it's black artists that you reckon, pretty much predominantly black artists. And the reason I say that is because my father gave me his collection when I was 14, and a lot of it's Southern rock, so I have a lot of that stuff. Every now and then I fill in, like I found some Michael Murphy records this week that were fantastic, but I'm looking more for R&B and particularly soul and funk.
Copy that.
Yeah.
When you were writing Beef,
yes,
didn't you cop a lot of records, hip hop records back then?
Yes. Well, there was one record
that Illmatic. You went and got Illmatic on vinyl, didn't you?
I found Illmatic on the streets. This is Nas's Illmatic, right? I found it on the street.
On the street,
yeah. But I could go on for
for hours. All right. I actually would love to hear you talk more about this.
So we'll have a whole episode on vinyl collecting at some point.
This is a very into aspect of what you are, and I'm into vinyl, but not as big as you are, and I would love to hear your process on how you get in. I mean, I like from my vantage point, sitting here at this microphone now, I can see your collection and how it's so. I love coming here and seeing that shit.
Yeah,
like the itemized, like it's just so clean and so many.
Yeah, it's 1,200 roughly.
And you know the number. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
They're all on, you can categorize them. You can put them all on Discogs, and you could sell them if you wanted to. I don't sell them because most of them were my father's. A lot of them are promo releases. So record companies just send radio stations. Yeah, exactly. And those are worth
those
even,
doper?
Those are worth even more because they have a different label on them.
That's awesome.
So if like I have a Neil Young that's over there, it's worth like $300.
Oh shit!
Because it's just rare.
$300 piece of plastic. Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny you brought up Beef because the song that we played in Beef was In the Room by Dramatics, and I found this record.
Shit.
Now you can take it out. The sleeve there's also a 7-inch in there.
That's the other thing about fucking
the sleeve
vinyl,
is not in great shape, but the record is really good. So a lot of times you can find like really nice records in decent shape, but the sleeve is not good, and nobody wants to buy it. That plays better than it looks, by the way. I also clean them. So I get them home, I clean them up, I wipe them down.
Yeah,
I have a whole process.
That looks wrecked.
You know, it looks wrecked.
But it plays
and it's
nice.
poppy.
Yeah.
But it plays, and there's no skips.
That's fucking great.
This is the other one. This one actually plays nicer. This is Parliament's Mothership Connection.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
So
you got P-Funk on this? Of course you do.
Everybody knows this record, Parliament, which they're worth a lot. They're very hard to find, especially used and in dollar bins. The sleeve is trash. The record sounds great though. This is the Let Me Ride Dr. Dre sample. Let me ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that on that record. The other one I found this week was Cleopatra Jones soundtrack.
These are great.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
These are I know all of these because the old man. This is the kind of shit that the old man would play at the house.
I bet you got a stack of records somewhere in your place.
See, you see, the old man did tapes.
He did tapes, yeah.
He would I'm sure if I dug around, I could find. He would make mixes. He would take all these different artists and he would make these mixtapes, and they would name them all different. They'd be like, Robbie's Reggae Mix Volume 1, Calypso Sounds Volume 2, Love and Happiness. Like he was making his own.
Wasn't he making them off of vinyl though? Vinyl recorded to tape? Because I can do that over. That's the only reason I have that tape player over there, so I can record them to tapes.
He started with vinyl, and then when tapes became the medium,
he got rid of them.
And he just started doing tape to tape kind of thing.
Because the other thing that happened when CDs came out, everybody got rid of all of their vinyl. So there was a period of time, especially when I first moved to New York, it was kind of like between 95 and 2005.
And you were living in the LES one. That's like.
So I found that Nas record, Illmatic, on the street.
On the street.
It's worth $65 to $100. On the street for free. And back then it wasn't worth that much, but in a short time it appreciated in value. This one I found, somebody brought a bunch of records to supper, right? Never heard of it, right? No. It was a stack of records. Most of them were water damaged. You can see a little water damage on the sleeve, but that's a generic sleeve, so it doesn't matter. But the record is pristine. Look it up. It's $100.
Seriously?
Yeah. Brother Green. So you never know. It's kind of like it's
gorgeous.
There's like there's a certain kind of gamble to it, but there's also the enjoyment of listening to the music as well. So like when I'll buy like a crappy sleeve for Parliament, for example, if the record's good, then I have the record. You know what I mean? And later, if I want to spend $35-$40 on a nicer sleeve version of Parliament's Mothership Connection,
and I don't know, there's something just really beautiful and elegant about a record. And I know they come in other colors, but just like the shiny blackness.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you one last anecdote that also happened this week. I took a record and sold some stuff because I needed to move things out. I don't sell my father's records. I only sell the ones that I find, like in this instance. And so I ended up getting $75 for a stack of like, I don't know, probably 25 records.
Oh, wow.
I had one record in there, and most of them were trash, but I had one record in there by Sebadoh, which had a gray marble vinyl color to it, right? I bought it probably in 2004 in Atlanta. It was not a good record. So I was fine with getting rid of it. It wasn't actually listed on Discogs, this version. So I knew it was probably worth like $20 to $30. I sold it to the guy. I found his online store later. He posted it for $100 online because it had never been posted. He created a listing for Discogs. Is it worth $100? It's like art. You don't know until somebody pays that much for it.
Yeah.
Once somebody does, then it is
worth it.
Until somebody pays for it, nobody knows. So that's why when my dad has all these promos, and a lot of them are not listed on Discogs, I'm going through the process now and listing them, right? Now, if I wanted to sell them, I could put the price at anything I want. Because the fact that Discogs has millions of records and nobody's ever... I put a promo for Grateful Dead on there that nobody had listed before. Since nobody's ever listed it, I could put $1,000 on it if I wanted. And if somebody bought it, that's what it's worth. Someone's probably not going to buy it for $1,000. They'd probably buy it for $100, though. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's right. Actually, you don't know.
You don't know.
Say 1,000.
You don't know.
See what a motherfucker
I'm not
going
to sell any of that shit. That's the thing. My kids will end up getting these records. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to keep the collection to a manageable size.
Yeah. Well, how do you do that? I mean, because 1,200, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you made the
800 are my dad's.
You made the choice to make it a prominent a part of your living space.
Yeah, he's got he's got rock, he's got country, he's got jazz, he's got blues. I'm putting in soul, I'm putting in R&B, I'm putting in some hip hop.
The other ones, yeah. That's great, man.
Yeah,
that's great. That was a good. Yeah, that was good, man.
So we got 20 minutes. We got to do Glow versus Mindhunter.
Glow versus Mindhunter. All right.
Which did you prefer? Netflix shows both came out this week.
Wow, that's a toughie. I mean,
Mindhunter season 2, Glow season 3. If you had to pick one over the other, it's tough for me too.
I think if I had to pick one over the other, I think it would probably. Jesus Christ. Fuck, that's tough.
Yeah. On one hand, Mindhunter is more bingeable for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and you're right. It is.
It's also only 8 episodes. Which I think,
and on the other hand, Glow is so I'm invested in these characters.
Yeah,
I'm invested in them. But this is the 3rd season, and I'm invested because I grew up watching that. I remember I remember when they went from just kind of like a novelty thing to having a weekly show from a Vegas casino.
Yeah,
and if what they dramatized in this 3rd season happened in any shape, form, or fashion in real life, if what they're portraying is actual, because they could have this could all be fiction. Mm-hmm. We don't know.
Yeah,
but if there's a 10% inkling of truth to any of this storytelling, it's really, really compelling.
Live from the Fantan Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
So how's Vegas?
Black magic. 7, winner.
It's been nice, me being wrong about you hating Vegas.
Business is good. We've sold out for the next 2 weeks.
What do you think of Sandy?
She's the entertainment director.
Have a drink and play a little blackjack on us.
When we keep this up, then the 3 of us stand to make a lot of money here.
Maybe I can push the money into a pile the shape of my son.
Okay, well, I don't really know what to say to that.
I have a job. I have a boyfriend. And somehow I still feel lost.
Maybe you feel lost because you're holding yourself back. I would like to extend Glow's contract until the end of the year.
It's stuck.
What the fuck is happening now?
God, I love opening nights.
This is everything we've ever wanted.
We can't grin and bear for another 9 months.
I'm the only one who cares about keeping the show alive.
I know there's something in the way.
What do you want, Ruth?
I don't want to ruin what we have.
If it wasn't for Bash, then none of us would even be sitting here today.
You're happy, right?
Listen to your heart.
We may never open a show in Las Vegas ever again. Just take a moment and appreciate what is right in front of you.
Want to get us kicked out of every casino here before we leave?
This place can make you a little crazy.
We're so lucky to all be here together.
Some things are worth fighting for.
Let me out. Just, I can't take it. Seriously. I'm taking the stairs.
Tell him to
Now, Laurel, my wife, we were watching Glow, and she kind of didn't want to watch this season because she knows that it ends badly. Mm-hmm. She didn't give me many details. I didn't really want to ask how, because I didn't grow up watching Glow.
I did.
Yeah.
I get her point on that.
Okay.
And you can already see that trajectory if you watch this last season.
I just finished it this morning.
Well, the whole story of Glow ends, so it went from being the draw of a lifetime especially for the people who were involved in it, to like they were gone, like it just disappeared. It was like, the next day they were like just not a thing.
The way the show's, I thought it was going to end in this season, but it seems like this season's going to run on for another season.
I think they're definitely going to have a season 4.
Yeah,
they have to. And I think they've kept to the same amount of episodes each season. Mm-hmm. So, but I hadn't been paying attention to the episodes because I binged this before I did Mindhunter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Which one did you watch faster?
This one.
This one.
Yeah,
Glow.
I just sat down and just started watching.
You watched Glow all the way through.
Yeah. And Mindhunter, I had to take a few breaks.
See, I definitely watched Mindhunter faster. Because we had them both. We could choose which one we wanted to start with. I started with Glow, watched 2-3 episodes of that, and then jumped into Mindhunter and just binged it for over a 3-day period.
Yeah, I did the reverse. I started with Mindhunter, and I was like, let me do something a little more palatable. And I ran through Glow, and then came back and finished up Mindhunter.
I bawled last night watching Glow. Desert episode. So the desert episode, basically, and we're not going to go into too many details. I think it's a great episode. I think it's very well written.
A lot of the writing for both these shows, the writing is exceptional for both these shows, but there are some niche moments. The scene where Mark Maron's character,
oh my god, he's the best part of the he's the best part of the show.
Yes, he is. Easily,
he's so good.
Easily, the scene where he's basically having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And trying to keep it from his daughter, who he's helping to get her movie
sold.
sold.
Watched it this morning. Bald.
So good.
Yeah. And doesn't tell anybody.
Doesn't tell anybody.
Doesn't come back and tell her.
Still doesn't tell her.
Doesn't even when he realizes he should be celebrating, he celebrates when he knows that he shouldn't.
It's so good.
He's just.
And I don't. And here's the thing: we don't know if that actually happened because a lot of these.
I don't want to know that though. Almost in a way,
you don't.
Not really. I kind of want this. I almost want the show to do a Tarantino and fictionalize the end. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant like buffoon a bunch of people. And
no, Shannon Lee came out, and responded again to Tarantino, and she said, "Shut up."
Yeah, we talked about that last week where she was like, "Stop talking."
Yeah, stop talking. No, I almost want to rewrite a history. You know what I mean?
You know what? I kind of do too, because knowing how this ends, I
don't know how it ends, so I'm trying to avoid that from you and from my wife. I know it ends badly.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's gnarly, but it's not even that bad. Like if it was anything other than women's wrestling, it wouldn't even have been an issue.
Yeah.
Like they would have. It would have been salved, not solved. Salved. They would have put a salve on it, and it would have been fine, and they could have continued on. But why is it that that women's wrestling had never come back? Like they never did it again.
They did it in wrestling.
They
had women.
I guess they do have women matches in wrestling now, but.
I know what you're saying because I had the same thought. I was like, I feel like I would watch this more than wrestling.
I would too. I think a lot of people.
This version of things.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I think that's how and I hate saying this because it's kind of cheap and misogynistic in its origins, but I think it's a really good idea in practice, like an all women's football league.
Yeah.
Like so they started one, but it's the lingerie football league, and I'm like, those aren't.
Make it real.
Make it real.
Don't
give them an actual uniform. Don't just have
like shitty fucking knee pads
and like shoulder pads that don't protect your
boobies. You gotta protect boobies. You get those things, they hurt.
But like the talent and like the actual like seeing them do they're footballers. These women play football.
Yeah,
and they should be respected in that way. Not kind of like thong panties and bras and shoulder pads with it's.
Do you have any issue with the show before we move on to Mindhunter?
With Glow?
Yeah. I have because as much like because I love the desert episode.
I don't. For me, like it's like getting a chance to peek behind the curtain for something that you really enjoyed as a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I think I have a little bit of rose-colored glasses to it because I had more issues with Mindhunter than I would say with Glow.
Yeah. These are not really issues.
No, I say issue, but like not even issue, just umbrance or like why choice making. You know, I would have made that choice, but I feel like
I think these
for Glow.
Then
I'll say this and then you can jump in. I think for Glow, it allowed me to turn the actor brain off and just witness, just watch.
Well, I think that's why it speaks to you and I as well, because they're actors and they're essentially putting up theater shows,
right?
And they're struggling and trying to survive in this environment and follow their dreams. At the end, Alison Brie's character is like I've felt that way as a writer so often and continually feel that way of just like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I should just quit.
I use the hashtag a lot. We are Sisyphus. Like if you choose to do this life, we're Sisyphus. Yeah. We're cursed to push this boulder because we have to. This is what we know. This is what we feel. This is what speaks to us. So that boulder. We push that boulder up that hill and then it rolls back down, and then we start the process all over.
Because there's one of the conversations, I can't remember what episodes, but it's toward the end. They're like you get paid to go out and it's when they're talking about the woman with her back pain, and she's like, I get paid to go out and do a show every day. I don't want to quit and go back and not have that. I'd rather be in pain and do it.
Oh, her scenes that's
so good.
There's a lot of good ideas when it comes to like setting up shots. Like this is that shot of her the one with Alison Brie where she's taking off her makeup and time behind her is moving like faster. Just to like they're showing you how many shows, how many times they've done this. Mm-hmm. Like subtle things like that they do to heighten the storytelling.
Yeah,
like it totally allowed me to just turn my brain off. I didn't critique it. It wasn't a critique for me. It was me watching these women's lives through this story.
What year is this set? I know it's the 80s, but do we know specifically?
Specifically, no. Probably, I want to say 80s. It's close to the 90s, so like 87, 88. Because this is third season, so... I think this is like right before the 90s, so this may be 89. This last season probably is 1989.
So we were like 8 or 9 years old watching this. Because it just feels like...
So Penn's age.
Some of the conversations feel... It's not an issue. This is just an observation I had. Mm-hmm. But some of the conversations felt particularly 2019 woke to me. And I think it was the right choice to do it this way because it made me cry last night, and I thought it was a beautiful episode. And the following episode after that with... Yeah. I mean, just the fact that he's there and trying to get his daughter's movies made and put himself aside to do that. And then she steps up and says, no, you're the director. Right. It's like chills to me. But some of the conversations around that campfire felt like this feels a little woke to me. I don't feel like people were talking like this in the 80s. But I also don't know because I'm only 8 or 9 years old.
You know, that's interesting.
Particularly some of the gay stuff.
I had not thought about that. I honestly didn't.
Yeah, and to clarify, I don't think it's an issue. I think they made the right choice to go that route because that it paid off. But it did feel like 2009.
We are very we're. I agree, and I agree with you. I think it was a good choice, but I feel like that's how much like my rose-colored glasses were there because I could have easily would have picked that up if I wasn't so invested in this story and these people and these characters. Like, yeah.
Well, we got to move on to Mindhunter because we only got like a couple minutes left here. I also loved Mindhunter. Like I get same way I got sucked into the first season. I start watching it, and I don't know. Maybe it's that it's not a procedural. But
it's historical. Because these things happened. Those murders of all those children and shit. Like the story that they're telling is factual.
Yeah.
How much dramatization that has gone on in the See, I think that's why both of these shows are so compelling for us.
Well, they're both historical dramas,
right? They're both. They're both. All of them are they're based on real people. They're based on but the other aspect of Mindhunter is that this is a pedagogy that's not that old. Like the fact, like profiling, like how to think what predators. How to think like a predator. It blows my mind that no one had even broken the subject.
That's how much we take it for granted because we've seen so many movies and so many TV shows and so many psychological.
That somebody had to build this way of catching motherfuckers. Somebody had to teach other motherfuckers how to think this way in order to stop and catch these kind of cats.
January 1974. They just moved in 2 months prior. My partner and I were first on the scene. He was feeling for a light when something bumped him. That's when we found the little girl hanging from this pipe.
Jesus. I found someone to take over who will be very good for the BSU. He wants to expand the unit, and he intends to make our approach practice.
Tell me, who's the one you want more than anything?
Manson.
I'll get you Manson.
This is $100,000, and it's all yours if you help us identify the persons behind the murders of our children in Atlanta.
Another child reported missing in Atlanta. I'm sending you both. I want you there for the duration.
So all these children, one killer.
I believe that to be the case. It's statistically rare for serial killers to cross racial lines.
It's also statistically significant that the Klan kills black people.
You get him out of there. If he blows this, Gunn will rethink his investment.
I'm asking you as the leader of your department. What did Holden say that so offended the city?
We need to stay focused. If you're distracted...
I have some things to deal with at home. It's personal.
She had someone else's underwear stuffed down her throat.
It's 10:30. Do you know where your children are?
This is one predator.
What if you're wrong?
I'm not.
You arrogant, self-serving twerp.
We can't have tunnel vision, Holden.
What evidence is there to suspect the Klan?
Son, we've got 19 dead black children. You telling me that's a coincidence?
One more thing. Manson is small. Like really small. Try not to stare.
The whole premise of it is brilliant, and like honestly, this is what I'll say about it. And it's kind of in the same vein of like it's just an observation. It's not a real critique.
Right.
I don't think the name Mindhunter serves it.
No.
I was like Mindhunter. I was like, no, somebody needs the name should have been different, and I feel like it would be more of a draw. I know a lot of people watch it, and I know it's because it's really good, but the name Mindhunter does not suit it for me.
Well, it made me think, and I talked to you about this before about Michael Mann's movie Manhunter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're playing on that. Because it's essentially the same idea, which is Manhunter they remade it into Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So if you know Silence of the Lambs, you know Manhunter. It's still a good movie to watch if you like Michael Mann's movies like Heat and those type of things. Thief. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it because I recommend it. But I wonder if 1986's Manhunter was influencing this title, Mindhunter. But
I mean, you remember Manhunter better than I do.
Yes.
What do you think it influenced?
Yeah, I mean, former FBI profiler Will Graham, played by William Peterson, returns to service to pursue a deranged serial killer named the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, I definitely have seen it.
Yeah.
What is the year that Manhunter takes place in?
I think it's like around. I mean, if it came out in
is it the same time period that these guys are building the pedagogy of profiling?
I don't know. So if this is 86 when the movie came out, that means they were filming it in 85. So it's got to be around that time. I mean, when is...
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It does Mindhunter... Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I think maybe shortly after this.
Because Mindhunter isn't that the 70s? It's the
Set
70s,
in the
right?
1970s, yeah.
And
but I feel like this season got into the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like...
Well, the Manson murders were when? 69, 70, right?
69, 70.
And so he's been in... And then he probably got convicted, 70-some shit?
Mm-hmm.
So when they go and interview Manson, spoilers.
Yeah.
When they interview Manson...
That was a good scene, too.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
It actually made me think about, like, the shit that he says in it. I'm like, huh.
No, I mean, it was, very...
I was like, yo, that motherfucker might have a point.
Yeah, convinced me.
Yeah, I was like, maybe he's not responsible.
And he goes and sees... And it actually was really good timing with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because you get to see this version that sort of fills in those gaps for those of us who didn't kind of grow up with that in our past, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, keep talking. I'm looking it up.
What else can I say about it this week? This year, it was
so Atlanta. You know what I liked about it was that also the Son of Sam thing was really interesting. But I liked how when he went and met with the older women, and he's like, "Sorry about your sons, and we're doing the best I can."
Mm-hmm.
You could see both sides of those stories. Like it really, like he wanted to catch this guy.
He definitely wanted to help.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. there was no bullshit that he was throwing them, but it was still impossible for them to like register and understand that. There's just too much nuance in how all of it was working.
Right. Well, I mean, when you're talking about like Atlanta, Georgia, and like murder of all these young black kids, and the history that state has with the murder of young black kids, you get this. They definitely frame both sides' point of views very well and very, very eloquently through the filming and the storytelling.
Yeah, so 1982 was when Wayne Williams was caught and convicted for the killings of those two guys at the end of Mindhunter. So it's 82.
Okay.
So if Manhunter, the Michael Mann movie, is 86, it's only 3 years after this.
Because he's an ex.
But that's what Michael Mann would do with a lot of these movies, is he would take a lot of this internal jargon and put it into his films. That's why when you watch Heat, it feels like you're watching a heist movie, because he would really do research on how these heists would take place. Right. You know what I mean? He'd be using real guns to fire these, real blanks in downtown LA. Wow. I mean, that's why that scene is so great in Heat.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, it's
all right. If you had to choose one of these two properties, Glow or Mindhunter,
like if one gets canceled, the other one goes on for another season.
Which would it be?
Oh man,
I know.
That is tough. I'm going to say Glow, because it still feels more fictional in a way. I care about those characters more. Like I really like Mindhunter, and I care about the characters, but that's not why I'm watching it necessarily.
The crazy thing is, with Mindhunter, I only care about a few of the characters.
Yeah,
I don't care about the genius profiler kid. No. I care about the doctor and the main profiler, like the grizzled old profiler.
Yeah, what's his face from Fight Club?
Right.
Yeah.
This season they kind of highlight his home life and how the kid that he's adopted is probably
Holden and Bill. Those are their names.
Yeah, is probably one of these cats that he is building.
That feels weird to me.
I love
it, but I'm also like it's pushing my edge of believability.
Really?
Yeah. It's because I'm like,
it definitely was a point in the show where I was like, that didn't happen for real.
Because everything that they're doing and all these people are finding are matching basically his son's profile.
Right. And
adopted, trauma.
Right. That they don't know about.
That they don't know. Yeah. But it's great. I understand why they're doing it. It's smart writing.
It's really good. Like I'm very intrigued by it. But it definitely was like, I don't know how much of this is actually historical. This seems like the dramatization or the Hollywoodization of this man's particular story.
This is definitely the biggest project that actor who plays Bill, Holt McCallany has done.
Yeah,
and he's really good in it.
He's really, really good. His wife is really, really good.
She's great in it too. It's like
an old girl from, I can't remember the name of that show, but I fucking love the show.
You talking about Dr. Wendy Carr?
Yes.
Anna Torv.
I love her.
Yeah. I'll look it up for you here. Whatever.
It was and
Heavenly Sword.
And the guy, that cat who was in the Lord of the Rings played. Pacey was in it. What's his face from Dawson's Creek? He was in it. She was in it, and the dude from Lord of the Rings who is the steward of Gondor.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the name of the show though? It was like X-Files.
Fringe.
Thank you. My God, it was gonna kill me.
I never watched it, but
it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome.
It looks good. I should go.
You should.
There's too much shit to watch.
Just put it on at a point.
Put it on.
It's really good.
I'm determined to get to Dear White People. I'm pushing. I had to get through these two because we were talking about them.
I'm glad you did. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's I think for me it would be Glow as well. For all the reasons that you said. Plus. I like seeing Alison Brie's boobs.
Yeah, they show them. Is there anybody on Glow who hasn't shown their boobs?
There's a couple of characters who haven't.
Has the main girl, not Alison Brie, but the other Liberty Bell?
Yeah, no, you haven't seen her. Wait, no,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think
so. But you've definitely seen Alison Brie's boobs.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. I mean, why would you not want to see? Why would you not want to show those? You know what I mean?
Hey, turn around, preacher, because the choir says amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah, for all those reasons.
I do want to say, we have like 1 minute left. They canceled the OA. And the reason I say that, you never watched it.
I did. I watched that first season. I was mad. The dancing.
Oh my god!
To open a portal in space time.
It was
Fuck that show.
great. I loved it, and I'm upset that it's canceled.
That show should kill itself. That show should have killed itself.
And I hope that they don't cancel Glow, and I hope they don't cancel Mindhunter.
I hope they don't cancel Glow. I hope Glow gets a 4th season. Mindhunter will definitely get a 3rd season.
Do you think Glow could get a 5th season?
I feel like this story is approaching its denouement.
Yeah.
I don't think it can go past a 4th season.
How
but
far?
Who knows?
How far can Mindhunter go?
I think Mindhunter can probably go all the way up into now if they wanted to.
Yeah, but there's I read an article that they're finding a lot less serial killers because they're finding a lot more of them. They're catching them basically through DNA, through interstate collaboration and all that stuff. So there's just that
it's these guys who started that. These guys made all of that possible.
Yeah.
So it makes all the difference.
Because Charlie Manson, that's also what sort of jumped off this whole interest in these serial killers and these guys. And good stuff. Good
really
stuff, sir. Good week here.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad we got through it. I didn't think we were going to get through it.
We're doing It next week.
Can we?
Yeah.
All right. You want to? I feel like one of us should. I think we should divide the work.
I'm definitely going to rewatch the remake, the movie.
Oh,
I'm going to try to watch the TV show as well.
Oh, wait. What did you just say?
Well, I'm going to watch the movie.
The most recent one?
Yes.
Okay, because I wanted to watch the old one.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Great.
You watch the old TV show for sure.
Yes.
I'm going to watch the movie.
New version, right.
Sidebar, Tim Curry has
hashtag I got Tim Curry.
Yeah, you got Tim Curry. He also has a music career. And I see his records all the time.
Wait, Tim Curry
in the dollar bins.
Tim Curry?
All the time. Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
Had I known that we were going to do this previously, I would have bought a few. But I guarantee you, when we do that episode, I will put some Tim Curry music in it for you guys.
Wait. Should we do it next week? Because it doesn't come out for another 2 weeks.
The following week. This would be perfect. It would lead up to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do it, and then we'll do it part chapter 2 the following week after that.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. We'll take the kids. They'll love it.
Wait, why don't you hit these motherfuckers with places that they can hit us?
So you can hit us up at whatweinto@gmail.com. You can send us a comment. If you want to send us $1, you can go to patreon.com/whatweinto.
Do it.
Dial_Lawrence on Twitter.
Do it.
LawrenceDial.com is my website.
Do it.
You know your website?
Oh, God damn it. I should always write this down. I don't remember. It's like Wink site / my site / some shit. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. We're on Facebook at What We Into. If you scroll through one of our episode comments, Rob's
so promotion.
I linked you to it. Don't worry.
I've seen it. I've seen them in the links. I'm just so bad.
If people want to stalk you, they can stalk you. Don't worry. They'll find your info, man.
Like, hey, you're an actor, right? Who knows you? Nobody.
And I want to wish you good luck for what you're going to do right now.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm going to need it because I get distracted very easily these days. Jesus Christ.
Because you're going to
audition?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got an audition for the public. That's all.
For which show?
Measure for Measure.
Which character?
The Duke.
Can you give us a line?
No, because I haven't learned it yet. I mean, I think they called me on Wednesday, and I was like literally on the job site with saws in the background, and I was like, I was like, and they were real cool about it. They were like, hey, I was like, can I get it to you by Monday? Because I'm working through the week and probably the weekend.
Yeah.
So
is this Shakespeare, traveling Shakespeare?
I honestly don't know.
Because Nick Mills did that for a while.
Oh, word?
You should send Nick Mills a text and be like, Nick Mills, what's up?
All right.
He
maybe
did
I
it
should
for a
go.
while.
I honestly, you know what I should do is I should just go and read the email all the way through.
That's probably true.
I opened the email and just started looking at the sides. I was like, what sides are they going to give me? Oh, the Duke. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I love that character in that. I love Measure for Measure as a play, and I love the Duke as the character in it. You know, he basically sets up he incites the incidents and then steps back and kind of watches it happen, and then comes in at the end and sort of Deus Ex Machina the whole shit away. It's dope.
You know what that is? You just show up and you do your monologue, and then you break for 2 hours and watch some Glow season 4.
You got it right on the nose.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh god, I'm back on.
Gotta put my pants back on. Gotta put my pants back on. I'm cleaning my room.
This has been What We Into. I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
And I'm your boy, Rob Comer Robinson.
Peace out. Later, haters. That's my new
That's your
tag.
tag night?
That's my
why
closing line.
don't we put a pin in that and circle back?
Later, haters.
Little heart